Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Pay attention to outlier women. Now, usually when you use the term outlier, usually means some woman, she's dressed bohemian, her hair is different and all of that. And yeah, that's a very key thing. But on the other hand, an outlier woman could just simply be a woman who follows her own counsel. She doesn't follow the crowd. She might be called an awkward girl. She ain't out here wearing the eyelashes and, getting her face done, got the weave, all of that stuff, or the latest color. Something about her stands out. But the main thing, the main piece with an outlier is she follows her own path. Now, why is this important? Now, I'm known for talking about select and non-select. And, other people will say alpha, beta. Other people will say 80-20. Here's the thing. As a group, women's choices are largely, greatly, I'm gonna say greatly, even though each woman is an individual, they can be greatly influenced by what their peers want. It's like in high school, right? In high school, you have the divas, the cheerleaders, the most beautiful women. They decide which men are select. They decide. So, and usually it's like the popular guys, the good-looking guys, the star athletes. Okay, what if in a particular school the women do differently? They say, well, the most popular guys are the science geeks. Don't laugh, but seriously, the science geeks, the nerds, the more intellectual ones. It actually happens because, and this is something I've always said, attraction is biology filtered through culture. What if you're in a place where it's more important for the man to be more intelligent or to have a certain status? See, and that's why I always say you can't just say, oh, it's just looks or it's just some biology or even just game. It depends on the circumstances, the social class, the religion, the region, race, and that's filtered through culture. If you really want to be honest about it, even that's filtered through culture. Because I'll use the example of the black community. There are several cultures within the black community. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that, but that's another conversation. All right, and the thing is, usually, yes, a woman have her own choices. She'll have her own desires, but it could be still influenced by her peers. Like a woman in a bad neighborhood, whether it's the housing project, the res, the trailer park, part of her decisions are going to be influenced by what the other women want, what the group of women want. So that might be like that thug, that bad boy, that meth dealer, or, dating myself, that opiate dealer. It could be that, right? But in a more upper class area, the decision is influenced by, the people have money, they're affluent, they're into certain things. And so that's going to influence the women. But it's always it's by their peers. In fact, I did a video one time. I say, if you want to get that woman, you need to win her friends over. Indeed, a lot of times when a woman gets a man's phone number, she might sit and with her friends go through his social media with her friends. So she's not making the decision by herself. Now, when you talk about the outlier, she don't follow the crowd like that. She could actually, believe it or not, there are women who are more to themselves. They follow their own counsel. They dress their own style, whatever. Pay close attention to them, because one thing I found with them, they don't follow that whole select, non-select, alpha, beta, 80-20 rule to the same extent. They do not follow it. They follow their own counsel, which means a man who would be considered non-select 80% beta to most other women would be considered select, alpha, 20% to her. In other words, you got a better shot with them. In other words, you have a better shot with them because they not influenced by the same thing. You know, they ain't influenced by the latest media image of what should be the top person. Let me speak on that media image thing just to hammer home the point how much is peer influence. Like we talk about, like I'm always talking about body game. One of the things, and I've even shared some videos, body game, the ideal body through the media, through the mainstream, changes every few years. Let me say this again, changes every few years. Shoot, even with both men and women. You know, I remember the time, like it's big now for women to have that big old round butt dunk. That's why they're getting these BBLs, to get attention from men. I remember the time that wasn't a big thing. That wasn't a big thing, at least in the mainstream. It didn't really start becoming big until Jennifer Lopez came on the scene. And then, you know, Kim Kardashian. Now, like, all the women want to get it. It was always big in the black community, though. And shoot, that's another thing, too. It depends on where you're at and everything. But when you get, before I get into that part, you know, it's the same thing with the men who are considered ideal. If you really look at it, it changes. It changes every few years. And that's largely like a mass thing. What are they looking at? But the outlier, shoot, she don't follow all of that. One way or the other. You know, she might be in a different subculture or something. Like within the black community, you have the natural hair women. They wear their hair natural and everything. They don't wear as much makeup and everything. So the guy that they'll see as select might not be what the mainstream sees as select. Or you have some tattoo subcultures, they big on the body art or something. The select guy there might need to have some good body art. And he might not be like some super muscular looking movie star type. But that's ideal to that woman. So that's the thing. So when you see that woman, you meet that woman who she's following her own counsel and stuff. You got a better shot with her. Because now let me be clear, all women going to have a select and non-select. It's just a matter how much it's influenced by the mainstream, the greater cultures, the greater group, wherever country you're in, by their select and non-select. But they always going to have a personal one. Because she might be that type. Like I've met a woman. Let me share. Me and her real cool. There's a couple pictures of us on Instagram, in fact. I get more pictures, like throughout my Instagram, me and her, you know, always hugging stuff. She's one of the few women. She's one of two women that challenged my whole select and non-select paradigm. She's one of two women. They challenged it. And now, and you know, that could go to the 80-20 thing, alpha beta thing. But she's kind of an outlier. She gives a man a chance until he fucks it up. So, you know, it's hard to even tell what her ideal type is. But she is receptive. She's receptive to a man approaching her. Now, if a man come at her too hard or something, she just kick him away in a very honest and brutal way. But she's very open. So when I was presenting that, she was like, nah, I ain't into that. I just, you know, meet the guy. It's up to him to mess up. I'll give him a shot. I'll give him a shot as long as he talks. I've met a few women like that. They're not big on that. They're not big on it, but they were outliers. So that's the thing. Like if you're a guy and you know you ain't considered like the top dog, or you don't match what people currently consider the top dog, or you're not that Chad or Tyrone or something, well, it's a matter of switching who you're dealing with and paying closer attention to those outlier types. Now, it could be an issue whether you like them or not, but that's on you. You still got control there. You still got control there. Because, and let me say this, and I've said this before, like about the select, non-select thing. At the end of the day, every single woman, she's going to have what she considers. So for one, select and non-select. For one woman, 5% of the men are select, 95 aren't. But for another woman, 70% of the men are select and 30 aren't. And the one thing I've noticed with outlier women, they tend to be more open. I'll put it like that. That's the best thing. That's the best takeaway you can get. Their range is more open. All right, so pay attention to them. So that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.